Okay. All right, here we go. Big win for us. Very exciting football game, I thought. A little closer than the final score would indicate, but fourth quarter went all our way. So that's exciting. I thought big plays in the game, obviously, was how we played defensively in the second half. Really sort of bend a little bit, but didn't break. They got one touchdown, one quick touchdown. And then after that, fourth down stop allows us to flip the field. We drive the length of the field a number of times offensively. Great job by Connor Cook handling pressure. He got hit. Awesome job by our guys making the catches. And he threw for a ton of yards and touchdowns. So obviously big game in that directive. Ran the ball effectively in the fourth quarter. I thought our special teams played better. Kickoff team, solid. Came up with a fumble. Pretty solid on in terms of the return yardage. Jake Hartberger delivers a big punt, really flips the field for us. So that was huge for us. We had the one mishap with the high snap on the field goal, but other than that, I thought Geiger was good. And I can't think of anything. Big kickoff return, and then we had a 15-yard punt return as well. So we played better on special teams. Offensively, just sort of took control of the game in the fourth quarter, defensively and offensively. But we're 8-0, got an opportunity to stay off and not practice for a week and sort of regain ourselves in terms of our health and then move forward. So I'll take some questions.
Mark, how concerned were you right here?
Right where?
Right here, to your right.
Sorry.
Little
Sorry,
guy,
Fred.
right here.
Sorry, Fred.
How concerned were you that this was the ultimate trap game?
Well, we've been saying all week long, that one of the things we try and point towards is how do we play after a big moment. And so we make a big deal about that. We have since 2008, so we're 25-4. Any way you cut it, it's not always pretty. It wasn't pretty at certain points during this football game, but we've been very successful after those games, win or lose. Could have lost some of those games as well. So that's been a focus of ours, and I think that's something that we track, and so our guys are held to that. But, hey, I don't know. As the game goes on, they're scoring very quickly a number of times for whatever reason. I think that, they've got a lot of guys on they're creating substitution issues, and our guys are, had a couple things happen to us, and they've got good players, and I've said all week long, they have a dynamic offense. And they played extremely well defensively as well, and they just sort of ran out of gas in the fourth quarter. We had 96 plays, I think. I don't have my glasses on, but I think we had 96 plays. Excuse me.
Mark, I'm just wondering, is this team about where you wanted to be going into this off week? How big is it for you? And you mentioned not practicing at all. Would that be a first? No practice during?
Yeah, that would be a first for us. But first of all, we're 8-0. So I was hoping, or we were playing for, or we were working for 8-0. So hasn't gone perfectly, but we're 8-0. I'm getting a cold. So that's the first thing. As far as practicing, we need to heal up. We've got a lot of guys banged up, and really we cannot take the risk to practice this week and then all of a sudden next week have more guys hurt. So guys get hurt during practice. What we will do is lift our guys. We will run our guys as if it's our bottom line summer conditioning program. So we'll have our guys in great shape, which is the number one reason to me that we practice. And we'll also have our guys healthy. So we'll get some guys back. Jack Allen should be back, and some of our guys need to heal up. So that's just I think you play it as you go. That's where we're at this year, and that's what I think that's what we have to do. And then we'll be able to start on Nebraska. From a coaching standpoint this week, from a player standpoint on Sunday. So we will be ahead going to Nebraska, but I do think that we just need to back off a little bit. Our practices seem to be pretty competitive.
Mark, as you just mentioned, your team is 8-0, but it's been a very injury-riddled road along the way. But did you expect at any point during off-season training to not only see this many freshmen log significant minutes, but be able to make such clutch plays and play so well in your next man up philosophy?
Well, that's the beauty of our defense, really, our base defense. When you install it in the summer, they may struggle a little bit initially, but they're able to execute that defense, and we play it obviously a lot. So that's the beauty of that. Our freshmen are ready to play. We played Tyson Smith again today too. And I just said, hey, play him, because I knew we were going to play him. He's a good player, and he didn't play much But I wanted to get that over with and done with. He's a good player. We're going to play him. I thought Jermaine Edmondson went in there and played solid today, had a big, huge pass breakup. I thought Archie Calhoun played very well. Demetrius Cox in great condition. He didn't even come out of the game. But our safeties, we rolled our safeties around a little bit as well. And I thought Monte Nicholson went in and played well. Grayson Miller, Kari Willis, solid. But a lot of things happening out there at a very quick rate. So that's one of the things. That's an adjustment, and we grow from there.
Mark, as a head coach, to have Connor playing at such an incredibly high level, talk about maybe the peace of mind that brings to a coach. I know you like to spread the compliments around, but just quite frankly about his specific ability right now.
Well, he's a gamer, and he's able to put the ball right on the money. And I was impressed with his running ability today. Made a couple big runs, a couple good runs, solid runs. He hurdled the guy. I keep telling you, he's a great runner. But I thought that he's got that X factor a little bit, And the biggest thing, I can only tell you that the biggest thing is when there's something that goes wrong, he's sacked or doesn't make the throw, he's able to bounce back and make the plays and make the throws. And I think that's a credit to him, purely to him. You're being coached and everything, but everything doesn't always go perfectly. But he's able to sort of counter that and regain his footing and his composure and play through it. And, again, I thought our wide receivers made great catches. Outstanding. Burbage and R.J. Shelton with a big night. I think McGarrett Kings has a big catch as well. Josiah has a big catch. And Paul Lang, big catch. Really a big catch by Gerald Holmes on a quarterback scramble to take us down the field on a long drive when I think we were only up by 2 at that time, as I remember.
Mark, staying on the receivers a little bit, and obviously Connor said he was in the zone. It was kind of something to watch, but you've been through a time where that didn't come so easy on the other end to see those guys making those plays. Can you talk about where, especially those 3 guys you have right now, are and what that gives you?
Very confident. They're very confident players. They feel like they can make a play when people are hanging all over them, and that's obviously a big deal for everybody. And Cook puts the ball on the money the majority of the time. So, I think that we do what we do, and we are who we are. We want to run the ball more effectively than we did in the first half, and really we didn't run it until the fourth quarter effectively. But banged up in there. We've got a lot of different guys playing. I think Brandon Clemens is playing. David Beadle was played a lot today. Ryan Allen was playing center as well as Benny McGowan. So Cody Keeler was in and out, but played a lot of guys.
Mark, in your football experience, all the quarterbacks you've seen, that been aware of on any level, what are the unique factors that make this guy, in your mind, on what kind of level comparatively?
Well, I keep saying, I think I've been saying it over and over throughout the fall. He's got a great deal of experience. He's won at a very high level. I mean, the guy is 31-3 as a quarterback right now. I mean, that's unbelievable. 31-3. There can't be too many people out there that have that type of record. So he's used to being successful, so he has confidence. He's able to take a bad play and flip it and go ahead and play through it and come out the back end and play him very, very well. So, he could have a poor first quarter and play lights out 3 quarters in a row. It's not going to bother him. He's got a lot of control of the offense. He's shown great leadership in the huddle and great leadership on the field. And I think he's got his coach's backing. The coaches believe in him, and he believes in the coaches. I think Brad Salem has done a tremendous job with him.
But where does his arm and his touch and his strength, et cetera, those things that are unique to his passing, where do those fit?
Where do those fit? I mean, they're NFL type level, from what I know. And the NFL quarterbacks that we've had here, I would say he's right there with those guys. A great touch, got a great arm strength, and he's got a very quick release, and he's big.
Mark, it hasn't been a dominant 8-0, almost to the point where some weeks it sounded like people
We're
were
just inching by.
Yeah, it's like almost you were having to apologize for it. But what does it say about the team's ability to kind of cut the snake's head off when the game's on the line?
We know how to win. I mean, the bottom line is we know how to win. We've learned how to win here. We've learned how to win close games. We've learned how to take a game, in this case, sort of distance ourselves. But we've learned how to win. The culture exists that we expect to win. And somehow, some way, we've got to regain our composure and we come out and do pretty well. But I think that's the biggest thing. We expect to win, and there's a confidence level, and we certainly didn't play our best football. But we got enough players playing extremely good football to stay in the game with everybody, and then, make enough plays to win a football game. I don't know if that sounds right, but it seems like that's what's happening to me. But we got a lot of guys banged up. You got to remember now, we brought Mark Myers back, but other than that, we were out 5 out of our top 8 defensive backs from August. So our 2 deep of 8 defensive backs, we had 5 gone. So today we had 4 gone. So we're playing younger players. The same thing has happened in our offensive line. Our tight ends are healthy and everything, but our offensive line, we've juggled a lot of people. I will say, though, that in the end, that will become a strength for us because our guys are getting game experience. There's nothing like having game experience. There's nothing like it. Even those 3 plays that Tyson Smith went in, or 4 plays, whatever he was in, there's nothing like game experience.
Given all those injuries on the offensive line, if you had to lean on Connor more than you planned to or would have liked to over the past few weeks?
Well, I want to run the football, but, how are we going to get the ball down the field? And Coach Warner did a great job calling it, and, he ultimately, I guess I ultimately make the decision, but he's calling it. Those plays have to be called like that. You don't see us taking delay of game penalties and things of that nature, so there's got to be a rhythm to it, and, both defensively with Coach Barnett and offensively with Coach Warner, that's in their hands, and I'll sit there and interject and try not to be disruptive, but ask questions between series and things of that nature, but I'll try and manage the game and manage our players.
Is Connor a big part of that solution to get solving that?
Yeah. We're going to do what Connor feels very comfortable with. There's no question about that.
Mark, kind of a 3-part question that's all goes into one here. Who's your number 1 running back? How much is what they're doing right now tied to the offensive line injuries, and how do you use the bye week to find a guy and give him separation?
Well, I don't think we need a number 1 running back, first of all. We've got 3 or 4 guys that have made plays for us. And you can make a case for Gerald Holmes being out there as the number 1 guy. You can certainly say Madre London's number 1. You can certainly say L.J. Scott's number 1. And, Delton Williams, because of his past here, you could sit there and say he deserves the opportunity to play and get back in it. So we're going to always ride the hot guy. So I made the decision, put LJ in there at this point in time, and, he got some yards. But just sort of a feel at that point. But I wouldn't say that we need to have a number 1. We need to have guys that are going to play hard and bring their A game to every single football game and bring their competitive nature there. But Holmes had 2 huge plays in the game, 2 huge plays. And so we just sort of roll from there.
From the chance for them to get separation from each other, do you think that's a lot tied to the offensive line injuries right now?
I don't know. Tough to say. Well, I guess we're going to find out here in the future. But, credit Indiana. They got players too. So, but at the end of the day, we sort of wore them out.
Got time for 2 more guys.
Mark, over here. Have you told your players that they're not practicing next week, and what was the reaction? And also, just how stressful have these first 8 games been, given the injuries and the competitiveness of every game?
Well, first question, I told them this past week on Tuesday, I said 1 or 2 things are going to happen. We're not practicing next week. We're going to do these. We're going to work. Our work time is going to be basically the same thing, but we're not going to put on helmets and shoulder pads. Okay, and our coaches are going to be out recruiting. So I said 1 or 2 things are going to happen. Either we're going to win the game and I'm going to give you the week off, or we're going to lose the game and I'm not going to want to see you. So that's the way that was going to go down. And then the second question was
just how stressful are the first 8 games?
Stressful? I don't know. It's stressful out there, but it's what you do. It's just like any other game. You get upset about this call or that call or an offensive play or a defensive play and the technique, but you're just trying to win. You're just trying to win, and you try and do everything in your mind and everything that you can personally do to help us win. And I think that's all I ever ask of anybody, and that's all I've ever tried to do. So at the end of it all, I let it go. At the end of the game, I'm going to let it go, one way or the other.
Coach, over here, playing a full-strength Indiana, I know they'd been missing the running back who led the nation in rushing for a while until they got hurt against Ohio State. How important was it to close it out right now? This is the last game for you before the first college football rankings come in, and maybe would you call this a statement win that you feel comfortable going into those rankings with?
I think Indiana has a good football team. They were missing Sudfield and the running back when they played Penn State. Every other game was extremely competitive and went down to the very end. They're very well coached. I said that last Tuesday. They find a way, and they got guys that can make plays. And Sudfield, steps up in the pocket. It's a big thrower and made some clutch throws. And their concepts that they use, how rapid they go and everything, causes problems, as most people do. But in the end, when you do that, if you do get a stop and then you can control the ball down the field, you start to wear out a little bit maybe. So it worked to our advantage, I guess, in the fourth quarter. Turnovers, etc.
Mark, were you aware that Connor had 398 yards, and if so, was it a temptation to get him one more throw to kind of reward him for having such a great day?
Yeah, I heard he was 2 yards short of the record. I couldn't do that. I just felt one of two things were going to happen. Either, it's sort of you don't do that when you're up like that, first of all, and then the game was still in question, and we were going to play to win the football game. That was most important. And he'll have other days, and we expect big things, so he'll have other days.
Thanks, Coach. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.